Good morning. Welcome to chapel on this wintry Wednesday morning. You are welcome here, whoever you are, whoever you know yourself to be, whoever you are becoming. And especially in J-term, I feel like I should add the line, wherever you are, because we recognize that folks are traveling and that it's winter and it's cold and that class schedules and workloads are very kind of nebulous in J-term. And so to those of you who are joining us on live stream, welcome, and know that you are welcome. To those who might tune in later, and if there are any of y'all who are like traveling for J-term who happen to check in, let us know too. That would be really cool to know if you're like, hey, I watched chapel and I am in Tanzania, whatever. Anyway, so you are welcome, whoever you are, whoever you know yourself to be, whoever you are becoming, and wherever you happen to be on this Wednesday. You are invited to join us for chapel break all throughout January term. We're continuing with our regular patterns Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The one I shift to location this Monday upcoming, the weather looks like it's going to be absolutely frigid. So Monday's fika, we're going to move indoors because that seems kinder to everyone. But still at 10:30, plenty of coffee and treats. Invite your friends. Our theme for January is When I Look at the Stars, and so all of our worship and chapel events this month will somehow invite us to reflect on the beauty, symbolism, and spirituality of the stars and the cosmos. Today, we are doing that through the words of Kristen Swanson, professor of religion, as we encounter stars and light and creation in the earliest chapters of the Bible. And we're so grateful for you being with us today. This Friday, then, you are invited to join us again, and please invite people. It's going to be really cool for what we are calling Star Sights, where we will be using some really beautiful images of the cosmos from the James Webb Telescope as focal points for prayer and contemplation. So that's Friday. I have one final announcement for the moment, and that is about the banners that you might have seen in the lobby as you came in and things going on upstairs. Today at 4 o'clock is the opening reception for an exhibition called The F-Word Stories of Forgiveness. It is an exhibition that's part of the Forgiveness Project, and we are hosting it here on campus for 2 weeks. And so there are 16 more banners upstairs in the CFL. All are invited as you feel moved these next couple weeks to see these images and read these really amazing stories of forgiveness across divides, across atrocities, really speaking to that power of forgiveness to build a bridge in our world. Excuse me. The opening reception is at 4 o'clock today. All are invited. There will be snacks, and Louisa Hext, who is kind of the curator of this exhibit, is with us, and she will be sharing some opening remarks as well. So please join us for that if you can. Otherwise, make sure you stop up there at some point in these next weeks. That is all, I think, by way of introduction today. So as we begin, I invite you to stand as you are able and comfortable as we get grounded and centered for worship together. I invite you to relax into this space and into this moment. So roll your shoulders, shake out your hands, feel grounded against the earth. Receive permission to let go of whatever it is you have carried into this space. And take a moment of quiet to take a few deep breaths. We praise you, God, for nature's rhythms, for dark, for daylight, for the stars and the sun. The whole of your creation sings your glory. You are the Creator. You are the Holy One. Grant us your life, salvation, and resurrection, for you are our light and our life. Amen. Our opening hymn this morning is in the red hymnal number 307, Light Shines in Darkness.
Our text this morning is Genesis 1, verses 14 through 19. And God said, "Let there be lamps in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day and the night, and let them be for signs and seasons and days and years. And let the lamps in the expanse of the heavens shine upon the earth." And it was so. God made the two big lamps, the bigger lamp to rule over the day, and the smaller lamp to rule over the night, and the stars. God put them in the expanse of the heavens to shine upon the earth, and to rule over the day and the night, and to separate the light and the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And it was evening, and it was morning, the fourth day. This excerpt we just heard is part of a larger creation story that consists of the entirety of the first chapter of Genesis and the first few verses of chapter 2. This small portion of the text nicely illustrates how structured the narrative is. The creation of the cosmos is described within a framework of 7 days. Key words and phrases are repeated throughout, such as, "And it was evening, and it was morning, day, fill in the blank." And God said, God separated, and God saw that it was good. There's structure within the structure, too. God creates things, the Hebrew verb bara, on odd days, and makes things, the Hebrew verb asa, on even days. What gets created when is also interesting within this very structured narrative. The first thing that God creates on day 1 is light, yet the big lamp, which we can safely assume to be the sun, isn't created until day 4, as we just heard. Hebrew has words for sun and moon, so the fact that they aren't used here is striking, as is the almost offhand mention of the stars. As a result, the immense and awesome grandeur of the night sky feels understated. On the other hand, later in the narrative, the creation of humanity is heavily emphasized. Another narrative structure, parallelism, draws attention to humanity being created in the image of God, and humans are given dominion over the earth and living creatures. One might expect the narrative to end on a note of active creativity such as this, but it doesn't. God rests, creating a model for a set-aside, separate, and sanctified day. Context can help us understand these features. In 586 BCE, after the Babylonians conquered the kingdom of Judah, they exiled government officials and priests from the Jerusalem temple to Babylonia. These were literate Judeans who had had a significant stake in the traditions and worship of the Lord back in Jerusalem, but now found themselves living in communities with other Judeans, but in a new context and culture, one which recognized the god Marduk as supreme. Free to participate in Babylonian culture, we can imagine that the question of whether and to what extent to participate in or even adopt Babylonian cultural practices would have been pressing, especially the question of worship of the god Marduk. Marduk's supremacy was celebrated every year at the Akitu New Year's Festival, which included a reenactment of the Enuma Elish, the Babylonian creation story. In this narrative, Marduk battles an ocean deity, Tiamat, and after he kills her, he uses her ocean body to create the heavens and the earth. He then organizes the sun god, moon god, and the stars, which were astral deities, in the skies into the recognizable patterns of the night sky. Humans are created from the blood of a renegade god who allied with Tiamat to be slaves to the gods. With these aspects of Babylonian culture as a backdrop, we can understand our creation story making assertions about the Lord as compared to Marduk. One is about the Lord's power, whereas Marduk has to fight and win a battle to create the heavens and the earth. The Lord simply speaks things into being. Not only that, Genesis 1 emphasizes that the Lord is the only God. Those lamps in the sky are just that, lamps, not gods. Those astral deities like Ishtar, they're just the stars. In addition to assertions about the Lord, Genesis 1 also makes assertions about humans. In the Enuma Elish, humans are created from a renegade god who to be slaves to the gods. In Genesis 1, humans have dignity and agency. In the context of exile, the biblical creation story provided a powerful alternative rooted in Judean tradition to surrounding Babylonian culture. Context notwithstanding, though, we still have a narrative that seems to give humans license to crush and ravage the earth at will. This is what the Hebrew words used to express human dominion mean. But recognizing that that's what's in the text, and that the text has been interpreted in just that way, we can approach the narrative honestly and engage with other texts that provide alternative narratives as we strive to care for creation. Perhaps this narrative can help us do the same for the night sky. In Genesis 1, verses 14 through 19, the sun, moon, and stars seem to be downplayed in service to emphasizing the Lord's power. As part of our star conversations this month, how can we actively think about the night sky as part of creation that requires the same attention and care as other aspects of the natural world? And what texts and people can we engage with as conversation partners for this work?
We continue this conversation truly as we join in hymn number 771, God Who Stretched the Spangled Heavens. And I invite you to stand as we sing number 771. And now may the light of God surround us, the love of God enfold us, the power of God protect us, the presence of God watch over us, now and always. Amen. Go in peace, carry the light. Thanks be to God.